Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is that you inky savages are joining us for this week's episode of the PenBoyRoy Pentertainment Podcast. This is episode number 184. Before I get into the sponsorships, I want to talk to you about my buddy. And my buddy has a website, right? Now, this is not sponsored because I feel like it's a serious subject. It's about mental health awareness, because I think mental health is one of those things that I think people in certain industries and actually across all industries have a difficult time talking about, right? So sometimes people are afflicted with some sort of mental health problems. They don't want to admit it to themselves, but I think it's important that there's some awareness. Again, this is not sponsored, but the website is called goodtheorywellness.com. I think it's a very clever name because my friend, his name is Lyman Good. He is known for his UFC fighting career as well as being an excellent martial arts instructor under the school academy, Tiger Schulman's. That's also where I was an instructor before my current career. It was also where I got my black belt. I loved teaching. And one of the biggest things is a lot of people that go through certain mental health problems, and a lot of times because they don't talk about it, you don't know it exists for them. You don't know what they're going through, and you don't have any idea, and it surprises you when you find out a buddy of yours takes his own life, right? That's happened several times with friends of mine that are no longer. And every single time, I always said to myself, holy cow, I had no idea that he was going through problems. I didn't know he had problems. I didn't know that there was something going on in his life. He never talked about it. And there's not a thing you can do for someone if you don't know they're going through something, right? So this website is about encouraging people to explore mental health. It's about exploring how you're feeling and dealing or coping with things, which is not easy to accept personally. So check out goodtheorywellness.com. So I think it's clever because his name is Lyman Good. Good Theory. I don't know. I think it's really clever.
It sounds good on its own, even if his last name is not good, but it's good. It works.
Right. It's good because his name is actually good.
Yeah.
And like I said, he's a friend of mine, a good friend of mine. I've known him for almost 20 years now. He is probably the most physically fit and most disciplined fighter, athlete I've ever met. I had no idea that he had a difficult time in the past, and I had no idea he was coping with the issues that he was coping with. So he did also agree to be on the show later on to talk about these things, and I think that it's important. Cool. I think it's definitely something worth mentioning. So check out goodtheorywellness.com, and then you can also check out his YouTube channel.
He's got a YouTube channel.
Yeah, he's got a YouTube channel where he does a podcast about mental health awareness as well as an Instagram. Cool. So the Instagram is called, let me click on it. It's called @good.theory. Okay, so he posts a lot of videos there and whatnot. He's an extreme phenom when it comes to athleticism. Super disciplined. A quiet guy who's extremely artistic in creativity and everything like that. And then he's also a monster when it comes to fighting. I think that if he's at 3% body fat, then he's living on the chubbier side of his life. He's just a genetic phenom. And this is one of those, he's one of those friends that I had no idea had any kind of a difficulty dealing with anything. I just found this out recently, and he got through it. Nice. And he was able to get through it. It wasn't an easy journey, and he wants to help other people get through it as well. And that's why he started this Good Theory website. It's why he started this Instagram and podcast and YouTube channel. And I think that it's really admirable that he's able to do that, because in his industry of mixed martial arts, everybody's a tough guy. It's not easy for someone in that field to talk about difficulties they're going through or emotional coping and whatnot, right? And there's a lot of industries out there where if you're dealing with something, you got to just keep it on the down low. You got to keep
There's a
it
stigma
quiet.
against
Right.
mental, like mental wellness is kind of considered like, oh, well, it's like, oh, you just tough it out,
Right.
But that's not
Right.
really not the case. It's kind of just putting a mask over it and, hoping for the best, but that problem doesn't go away. So,
Right. And there's a lot of industries out there where people deal with all sorts of trauma or things that are difficult to cope with. Police, firemen, EMTs, military, professional fighters. But it's not just those things. You could be a librarian who had a difficult childhood, and there are things that are creeping up on you because of it, and you have to learn how to identify it and cope with it. So that's what the website is all about. So check it out.
You don't realize as we speak, there's people who are considering suicide or who've already done the part. We've lost way too many good people to the lack of conversation. There's so many stigmas surrounding purely opening up. Vulnerability has to happen in order for there to be healing. I want to have guests that are going to be on the show who have other fields of experience, and through those experiences, other traumas and other things that other people feel. I was never in the military, but I do understand because I train a lot of military personnel. There's a whole other world. There's so much happening there that is not discussed, that needs conversation, especially in these fields where it's so masculine and so power-driven that there's no room for a conversation. The power of what you're capable of is unimaginable. The happiness that you wish you could live lies on the other side of healing.
On to the people who
stuff.
paid money for me to talk about stuff. We're going to talk about the Alchemy ink bottles. All right, ink bottles, they just got a whole lot more exciting. And Luxury Brands of America is introducing the new Alchemy Fountain Pen Ink collection from Endless Stationery. With their fun-shaped bottle and a double-sided base, you can either play with your ink bottle on your desk or flip the cork base over to stand the bottle upright to fill your favorite pen. Each bottle comes with a story of inspiration of the alchemist's ability to wield each ink. Come with us on a journey to discover the new world of alchemy inks from Endless Stationery. Now, this is important. All of the Endless Alchemy inks are suitable for use in fountain pens and dip pens. That's like
Very important.
selling like a food product and saying all food products
Is edible.
suitable for human consumption, right? Like it goes without saying. Yes, it is definitely fountain pen ink, so you don't have to worry about the ink not being fountain pen friendly, particularly since it's called fountain pen ink. Alrighty, and then there are also the Rainforest limited edition Retro 51 from Luxury Brands. It's a tornado pen. It's an exclusive, and it has animals of the rainforest wrapping around the pen and a tree frog perched on the finial. This Retro 51 is sure to be one of a kind. This time, it really is just one of a kind. Now, here's the cool thing. A portion of the proceeds from the purchase of this pen will be donated to the Rainforest Trust to help protect endangered animals and landscapes around the world. They're limited to 500 pieces, which are still available, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't be reading this. So please pick them up so I can stop reading it. Because when they sell out, they don't need me to read it anymore, right? So I'm actually getting tired of reading it.
Zero of a kind, because then it's
Right,
gone.
right. So please pick that up so that way I don't have to read this again, okay? I definitely appreciate it. The Rainforest animals appreciate it, and Luxury Brands of America would appreciate it. Now, of course, we can't forget to mention my affiliate link that you guys are using, which I very much appreciate. The affiliate link in the description below is to Gold Spot Pens. Please use that affiliate link to make all your Gold Spot pen purchases and help out the Pentertainment Studios. But also, don't forget to use coupon code, I forgot what the code was this week.
Titanium.
Don't forget to use coupon code Titanium at checkout for an additional savings on most of the products on the Gold Spot website. It's a good thing I did this with you, Tom. I was going to actually try to save you time and not do the sponsorship reads with you, so that way you're not sitting here just waiting. But then again, I was thinking to myself, you know what? You know so much about
Sometimes I come in with these like clever or helpful little tidbits, and since I'm paying attention, I'm right there with you. So
yeah, so it's a good thing. Anyway, check out the affiliate link in the description below. Use coupon code Titanium. Don't forget to buy yourself the Retro 51 Rainforest Tornado Ballpoint / Rollerball pen. And, of course, check out Good Theory on Instagram and watch his videos and podcasts. I'm telling you, it's like his third episode, but his production blows ours out of the water. But then again,
I
at the
gotta
same
check
time,
it out now.
yeah, subject matter
check this
is at the same time way heavier, so there's more at stake. And he also hires and spends a lot of money on a recording
It's
crew.
not a $1,000 a year corporation.
No, it's not a multi-dozen dollar a year corporation.
Okay.
He's spending thousands of dollars a month to have a crew come in, record it, edit it, and
Respect.
do all this stuff. Yeah. So, and he's doing all of this out of his personal income, his own personal investment. He tries to supplement it using his website with merch and products and stuff like that, which I will go and purchase some t-shirts and wear it on the next episode. And I want to make sure that I support him because he's a good guy, a ferocious fighter. And he was one of the guys that went through the whole martial arts instructor training for years with me. I went through with him. We were instructors together, and I think that he's a fantastic person. And I'm actually saddened to know that he was going through so much, and I had no idea. And he didn't at the time have an ability or a way to communicate it. And I'm grateful that he was able to make it through. It's not something that a lot of people can do, and we lose a lot of people unnecessarily for that reason. So check out Good Theory on Instagram, check out his website, and please check out his YouTube channel. All right, so thanks again for joining us for episode number 184 of the PenBoyRoy Pentertainment Podcast. I do need to talk about a pen that I just dug up and started using again for its durability because of its ability to write and because of how tough it is, which is durability, I'm repeating myself, and because of its uniqueness. It's made in America. Stay tuned to find out what pen it is, in fact, that I am talking about. But before we get started with this week's episode of the PenBoyRoy Pentertainment Podcast, I want to give you guys a quick disclaimer. This podcast is not scripted and therefore will contain potty mouth words, both from Tom and I, mostly from me. So be forewarned, you have been warned. Now, onto the podcast.
The PenBoyRoy Entertainment Podcast. Stay savage.
So, you remember this bottle? The greatest
how
and
could I-
best water bottle
How could
ever
I
created
forget?
in the history
Yes.
of anything ever created ever.
That right around the time that we did that ridiculous sticker promotion for Esterbrook as well.
I think it
that
was
was around the
this-
same time.
No, I think it was around the same time, but it was after. There was a good
Yeah, it
amount of
was.
time in between. That sticker promotion was fun, but this water bottle, I don't know what brand makes it. I know it was an Esterbrook promotional bottle, and in collaboration with Gold Spot Pens as well as myself. But I gotta tell you, man, this bottle has been through hell and back with me. I got nailed
Does
with
it
a brick
keep? Do you
right
like
on the bottle, and this
you
bottle
got hit with a brick on it?
I got hit with a brick, and bottle is good. Like
Nice.
it's my water bottle. I take it around with me. I take it around.
Does it keep
there-
the contents cold for
Yes,
a long time?
it does.
Okay.
It certainly does. At least 2 days. I threw water in there that was cold, and then 2 days later, it was still cold, that kind of thing. And, you know, the sticker stuff is like getting scratched off, but this
No, but it's-
fucking bottle,
It's like a patina. It's like it shows its wear, you know?
yeah. But this bottle has been through hell and back, and I love this bottle. And
Nice.
the only thing is, I wish they had some sort of lid retention mechanism, right? So, like, if you just take the lid off and drop the lid, it'll just
Right.
hang. It doesn't do that. So,
No.
you have to make sure you don't lose the lid.
And
But,
so far, you have done exceptionally well with that, my friend. You
yeah,
have not
I'm
lost
I'm
the lid.
shocked that I
Give
didn't
that
lose
to my 14-year-old daughter for about a week, and let's see how it does after that, because she puts bottles through hell. Now, you're not getting hit with bricks with it, but she destroys water bottles constantly.
Right, but give anything to a 14-year-old and they'll destroy it, right? Isn't that like just the nature of being 14, being a kid?
Pretty much.
Right.
My buddy had bought the same dining room table as us way back in the day. Mm-hmm. And his, for the longest time, because he was just a swinging single bachelor guy just living by himself, his table looked pristine while mine was going through World War III. Like, it was getting, the cars were being run on it, so like you'd see the finishes all messed up and everything. So just the other day I go over to his house, he's like, Tom, it's time, because now he's got 2 young kids. Mm-hmm. So and it's like, Tom, now it's time that mine's starting to look like yours. It's those damn kids, man. Damn kids.
So I did want to talk about a fountain pen today. And the fountain pen I want to talk about is this puppy here. It's going to be hard to see what it is.
Oh, you got a puppy.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
It's
look at
a
that.
gold puppy.
No, it's not gold. This is made of brass.
That's the Karis Customs.
This is the Karis Pen Company. This is, I forgot what model it's called. Do you remember what model it's called?
The model ink, I think it is, or something.
I think
like
it
that?
is the model ink. Yeah. I love this made of brass. Brass is antimicrobial, which was, a good reason to get it back when, in 2020, when COVID was a problem for everybody. Antimicrobial was something that all of a sudden everybody was talking about. Everybody was aware of it. But I kind of had this pen sitting around. I didn't really use it that much. I used it when I got it. And then I found it recently, and I'm like, how come I haven't used this thing? This thing is awesome. Like, it's so heavy. I love that. It's made of brass. I can throw it in my pocket with my keys. I don't have to worry about it getting scuffed up, scratched. If I drop it, then I'm more worried about the tile that I dropped it on than I am about the pen. And then it also has a stainless steel Karis branded nib, number 6 size nib. Now, this is a Bach nib, has the Bach feed, Bach nib unit, and everything like that. Mm-hmm. This one's an extra fine. But what I have found was the writing out of the box back then and currently is just spanking. I love the scritchiness. I love the bounciness, because I think that Bach nibs have a slight bouncier quality to it than Jowo nibs. Right. And I do appreciate the Bach nibs for that. I also think that the thickness of the nib, and I'm not talking about the nib tip, I'm talking about the actual thickness of the actual whole nib, is a little thinner than a Jowo nib. And because of that, it has that bouncy quality to it. So I personally very much like this pen. I filled it with Noodler's Black because if I have to sign on documents and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're a fan of using that bulletproof or waterproof, document-proof type of ink.
Right, because I don't want people lifting the ink off my checks or my documents, changing what was written or doing any of that shit. I don't want that shit happening at all. I want to make sure that if I write something down, it stays. It is what it is, and no one can change it. If it goes to court, it'll hold up. That's the big thing for me, right? So I have the Noodler's ink in here, the Noodler's Black. So these pens, they're made by the Karis Pen Company. They used to be called Karis Customs, but if you type in kariscustoms.com, it'll automatically redirect to Karis Pen Company, which is, it's cool. The pens are all a bunch of different prices because different materials cost different amounts, right? So I think I paid I had like a coupon code, so I paid 130 something. They had actually sent me 2 different pens, one out of brass and one out of copper. They sent me this model out of copper, which I did a giveaway on, and I ended up giving that away. The copper one is really cool also. The thing about the copper one that I didn't like as much was that copper patinas quickly, definitely quicker than brass. And then as you hold it, that patina starts to wipe off and your pen starts to look pink again. It doesn't keep the patina. Like for example, this is the Monte Grappa Copper Mule.
Copper Mule.
Look how patinaed this one is. But
it's got some patina.
Yeah, but I like to hold my pens and twist them, and I like to just mess around with them. If I keep doing that, eventually this thing is going to look pink again. And then on top of that, copper has a weird smell that for some reason
like a penny, like smelling.
yeah,
penny.
it has like this smell that gets on your hands, and then while you're writing you can smell it, and a lot of people probably won't care about that or won't be bothered by it at all, but for some reason that smell of copper bothers me enough that I'm like, oh, I don't want to use this pen. But what I did like about the copper version of this Karas Pen Company pen, the ink, is that it is definitely heavier, and I love how heavy it was. So,
but you've got no patina on that brass whatsoever. It looks like. Right?
Listen, like it's got some aging, but brass takes a longer time to patina than copper does.
Mm-hmm. It looks like it's pretty well polished, like it's almost brand new.
Not really. If you're looking at it on camera, but if you look at it here, there's definitely it doesn't look like completely brand new, but I like it. I like it a lot. I like the weight. I like how it writes. I like what they did also. I know back in the day they didn't have this, but on the inside of the cap there's like a small O-ring, and that small O-ring seals it off, prevents it from drying, and then as you close it, it gets that snug stop, right? So with the older versions without the O-ring, after you close it, if you were to like bang into it a little bit, it just loses grip of the threads and then unscrews a little bit, right? And that kind of drives me nuts. This one, it just a snug squeeze and stops. I like it. I like it a lot. So I've been using this. I'm not worried about it getting banged up. I'm not worried about something hitting it, scratching it. I'm not worried about it getting crushed. I can throw it in my pocket with my keys, with my change. It doesn't matter. It's all good. I mean, same for the copper mule. As long as I've had this pen, when I did use it, I put it in my pocket with my keys because I don't mind it getting that aged look, that like antique look about it.
Yeah, like a well-worn pair of jeans. It just has a very like old soul about it.
Right, in a good way, not in the shit in your pants and then just sit on it anyway type look.
Not
right, because old jeans that you shit in versus old jeans that you don't shit in are two separate things. Do not confuse the two.
Two different departments of the clothing store.
Yes,
entirely.
Right. So like me, I'll keep well-worn old jeans around, but if I shit in it, I will not keep it around. It's probably just
if
going
I
into the
split
garbage.
my jeans in half by like just kind of like as it get worn after a while and I accidentally like pull on a pocket or something and just splits in half, then I will turn them into shorts. Then once those split again, then I will turn them into like chaps or something, assless chaps perhaps. But then when they split yet another time, maybe then I shall use them as rags to clean things. And then once they split even more, then I finally throw them away.
I see. So what's on your radar nowadays in terms of fountain pens? What have you been rocking? What have you been using recently?
I've been using. I've inked up a bunch of pens to do a video with, and I happen to have one of them nearby, which is the Pelikan Souverain 800 and the Blue.
I don't know you had that pen.
I had this. So this was part of that batch of Pelikans that they reintroduced. Well, not reintroduced, but they found extra stock of. And this was actually originally introduced back in 2010. And then retailers were able to get a very small amount of a lot of these different special editions. And I picked this one up because I liked the blue and the gold. And I love the fact that they make this is like an acrylic material. It's semi-translucent. And I've always been eyeing an 800. I had to find one that was going to just click with me, whether it be a special edition that comes out in the near future or whatever. But then when this opportunity came, I was like, you know what? This is great because, I know I've seen this pen before. I remember when Goldspot originally sold this pen and, thinking it's like, oh, did I miss out on it? It's like, oh, I guess I don't have to miss out on it. So... Right, but Vibrant Blue was very close to that too.
Vibrant. That's what I actually thought it was. But...
Yeah, the Vibrant Blue. So this is more toned down of a color of pen. The Vibrant Blue is more of a turquoisey sort of acrylic, and it's more marbly.
It's
more marbly, right? And then it also has silver trim instead of the gold trim. So I think that was really my main thing, was that I wanted to get the silver trim, and I also wanted to get the bicolor nib. I mean, I wanted to get the gold trim and the bicolor nib. So that was my main thing with it. I mean, the blue, I love either blue. I would have been fine with either the turquoise or the darker blue with the blue. But I really wanted to have the gold trim and the bicolor nib.
What are those selling for, the relaunch of them?
They're about like 800 or so.
Jesus. So I guess they still haven't fixed the whole pricing problem, huh?
No, I mean, sometimes you get a great deal. Like, for example, a more recent introduction, the Green Demo 800, is now on sale at 50% off at $440. So I know that's one of the best sellers right now, because they said, you know what, we're dropping the price on it. Well, this is Chart Pack distributors for Pelikan here in the States. They allowed Goldspot to buy more at a cheaper price, and then like Goldspot's able to sell them at a really fair price. I say, it's like, I wish that they were like this all the time, because I think for $448 it's a great buy. 18 karat gold nib, piston fill pen. You know, it's a great construction. The piston mechanism is flawless. It's one of my favorite piston mechanisms, because it's just so smooth. It just operates and it just doesn't quit. At $800 though, it's kind of a stretch, but that's where they list all of these things nowadays. All the new Sufron models are like $880, and that's just, at that point, it just seems really, really up there. But I mean, it does compete then with like the King of Pen, and you know, you have Urushi models like the Pilot custom stuff. It's just like, but that's just, I don't know. I see that Pelikan is up there in terms of quality and prestige, but I still feel like it shouldn't be that expensive.
I agree with
especially
you.
If you have the European dealers selling them cheaper too.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pricing for the 800. Standard 800s are looking at about $450 right? So let's see, the Pelikan Sufron M800 in red and black with gold trim, $591. But then you have, okay, the blue one is $590. There's so many variances in prices. Then you have the M800 in black and blue with gold trim. That's $655. It's like they're throwing darts at a dartboard with prices, and then that's how the prices come up. Then you have the M800 in black and green. That's $583. The vibrant blue. Oh, the vibrant blue that you were just talking about is $880. Oh, jeez. And then the Blue Blue is $880 also. Oh, man. The Blue Dunes looks nice also. That's also $880. And then, of course, the Green Demonstrator is $440.
Yeah, it's such a good price for it. I mean, comparing to everything else, it just, you know, for the same pedigree, the same nib, the same piston mechanism, it just, yeah, I just wish that they were all like that. It's just at that price point, be selling plenty of Sufron 800s.
Yeah, I mean, Sufron 800 is a really nice pen. Let's take a look at a European seller.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Look at this. I'm actually surprised, because if you look at, for example, the website iguanacell.com. Okay. The price for the Pelikan Sufron M800 in green is $574.
That's not that far off.
Yeah, no, it's not. Maybe they did fix this, because on Goldspot it's $583. Right? So that's like within $10. That's within a $10 difference.
Usually the discrepancy's a lot worse. Where
like I remember a time
like $200 worse.
Yeah. So like, see, but maybe Gary Lang from Chart Pack did fix something, because if you think about it, it's within a $10 difference. So should I get it from Madrid or should I get it from New Jersey? Being a resident of the United States, I would get it from New Jersey. I would definitely get it from a U.S. retailer, right? Because that would definitely behoove me. For one, because of shipping costs, and also because of the ability to get the pen fixed if I needed to by sending it back to Goldspot. I can just send it one state over as opposed to a different continent. So I'm actually impressed. I'm actually surprised. Maybe he did fix it because it doesn't look to me like there's that huge. The discrepancy used to be hundreds of dollars, right? So Iguana Cell would sell it for 500 and you guys would be selling it for 800. It's not the
Right.
case anymore. Holy bejesus.
Holy moly.
Holy moly.
Actually, I want to bring up one of the more recent Pelikan releases that has been just doing phenomenally and is just an amazing design that they produced was the 600 in the art collection, the Glosso Cambone special edition pen. And this was something that first saw at DC where they used they kind of did like a Waldman sort of thing, where they, instead of just using cellulose acetate for the barrel, they made a brass sleeve, I believe it is, a metal sleeve, and then they did the guilloche pattern on it, and then overlaid lacquer to then create like multicolored effects on it that matches a poster art from way back in the day when they had advertisements for Pelikan and they did like a poster art contest. So the pen itself, the barrel, has a really cool sort of almost like a lenticular sort of effect on it where it's like you look at it in the light and it kind of shines and changes its shade and color. But the colors are really vibrant and the design of it's really, really cool. It's very well executed with the artwork that it's inspired by, and it even comes in a nice box that has the poster art like on the inside of the box lid. It's for one of the releases, because usually with a lot of Pelikan releases don't get a lot of sales right up front because of the pricing discrepancy, and tend to see a lot of sales when the items goes on closeout, when the extra discounts can be offered and the pricing becomes much more manageable. But this Glosso Cambone, I think this might be part of the reason, is that, you know, I'm looking at like Apple Boom's website and they sell it for like €516 for this 600 Glosso
You got to
Cambone.
look at it. You got to look at it in U.S. dollars, right? So I'm comparing it right now between Gold Spot and Iguana Cell, and Iguana Cell has this for 632 U.S. dollars, and Gold Spot also has it for $632.
Yeah,
so
I'm looking at the.
right
I gotta switch my currency. Hold on one second. So I'm switching my currency to see what they listed at for U.S. dollars here. Yeah, so like the website price for US is $632 street price, and then I got bumped out here. Sorry, just bear with me a second because I had to switch the currency. Let's see. It is taking a long time just to load anything on here.
Let me look. So Apple
$562.35. So yeah, still about a $60 discrepancy, but like not a tremendous
that's still
amount
that's
that it usually
I'm sorry,
is.
$60 is still enough, right? So
It's still enough to make you think, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, especially since Apple Boom he also, just so you know, he has stores in the U.S. So
Not anymore.
no, I didn't know that. What happened?
The Bromfield closed just recently in the last couple weeks.
Why?
He announced that it was closed.
Oh,
That I don't know. Just
that's-
decided to close it. So no more
oh, that sucks.
U.S. outlet here.
Oh, that sucks balls. Sorry to hear that. Sorry, Joost. I think you're the man. So anyway, but at least between Iguana Cell, the pricing is still the same between Gold Spot and Iguana Cell. So I'm wondering how that came about. Did that come about because of the hard work, if any, by our good friend Gary Lang at Chart Pack, who has been ghosting me, which he shouldn't if he's making a dent, which he clearly has. I mean, I'm guessing he did because I'm looking at the pricing. Iguana Cell used to be hundreds of dollars less than Gold Spot, and now it's the same, especially for the Glosso Cambone, whatever you want to call this.
Yeah, I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly either. So.
I'm definitely not pronouncing it correctly,
Yeah.
dude. So don't worry about it. I can't.
That's
even
something
read English
definitely to
words
check out though,
correctly.
because that it is a limited edition, and it's been a very, very good response so far.
People are buying. I'm looking at it, and it's not my thing. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, it looks like 8-bit art, right? So like it looks like something that's
it's so much more impressive when you see it in person, though.
Okay, you know what though, and then that's where digital media fails us, because I'm looking at this, and it definitely looks like the background flames in like an old school 8-bit video game.
I see where you're coming from with that, because because it looks like it's particles because of the Igio shape. It looks so much cooler in person. Just like just like if you see pictures of the Waldman Tango online, and you're just like, okay, you look at it and you see it in person, you turn the light, you're like, oh shit, this is something else.
You know what really tickles my fancy when it comes to the Pelikans is the Pelikan Souverain M600 fountain pen in tortoiseshell and red with gold trim.
Nice.
I really love the look of that one.
The tortoise, like Pelikan and tortoiseshell are like they're together, they're kismet. Like it's just like they just do it so well.
I love the way this one looks. This one is just so gorgeous. But the thing is though, this fucking pen is $640 friggin' dollars, man.
Yeah.
It's just a lot, right? So
14 karat nib. The piston mechanisms on the 600 are not, they're not brass like the 800s are. So, you know, it's for the level of pen that you're getting, it really shouldn't be that expensive. But then again, it's kind of like, well, it's Pelikan, but
I get that. I get that. But I gotta tell you though, I love the 600, the tortoiseshell red. Like I've been wanting that for a long time, but it's just not something. It's just expensive, you know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
I would hold out for the next time they do a tortoiseshell brown and something, because anytime they do tortoiseshell brown,
that red just brings back nostalgia for me, right? Because when I was a kid, I think one of the first candies that my dad had, like, given me when I was a kid was hot tamales. Hot tamales is and was. I don't eat candy anymore. I don't eat sugar because of keto, but that was one of my favorite candies ever.
Hot tamales was one of those candies I would always just look to trade for, and not trade, trade away. I would not want hot tamales. No,
really, I love the hot tamales.
I'm not into I want my candy to be sweet and like not spicy at all, or like not cinnamony. I don't like when you throw the overwhelming like hot cinnamon at me. No.
I always wondered. I'm looking at the Goldspot website. It says add gift wrap $4.50. So you charge $4.50 to gift wrap it?
I personally do not charge anything to gift wrap. The Goldspot website charges you the $4.50. Yeah. And I wouldn't gift wrap because I'm terrible at gift wrapping. I'm not good for that at all. Like any gifts that come from me, you could tell that they're gift wrapped by me because they just kind of look like I just took the gift wrap and just smushed it together with whatever was packaged inside. So it's $4.50 to get something gift wrapped, but gift wrapped nicely by somebody else in Goldspot.
By somebody who can, by not you. That makes it worth $4.50. If you told me it was you, I'm like, no, you should be giving them $4.50.
Yeah,
$4.50 because you gift wrapped it. You know.
I would not pay $4.50 for my own gift wrapping. No.
Right. I'm so lazy. I would be the one who spends the $4.50 just to have it gift wrapped.
Some people do. And then also at the same time, you could put a little note on it, and that might be something I could help with. If you wrote out
the card with your amazing flex nib writing, then I would be like, yeah, definitely write the card. I want you to say, dear Bob, happy birthday. I want you to write that down for me, because I mean, I can write it myself, but I'd rather it be your handwriting and say I did it, as opposed to do it myself and say I did it, because your handwriting is way better than mine. So
the person gets it and is like, oh, what pen and what ink did you use? It's like, I don't know. Let me call Tom up real quick.
Yeah. Well, I could always just make it up, right? How would they know if I'm telling the truth or not? I mean, I wouldn't lie to them about that.
That's honestly flex with Lamy Blue. Yeah.
I wouldn't actually take credit for your fine handwriting, because your handwriting is so distinctive. that I think if I gave a gift that was written by you to someone who's a pen person, they'll know because they've seen your handwriting on Instagram so much that they would know. But they would also recognize mine, and they know my limitations and stuff like that. So I think that this Pelikan Souverain M600 fountain pen in tortoiseshell red and gold trim is gorgeous. That is my next pen purchase if I purchase another pen, or if somebody were to purchase it for me for my birthday that just passed. Someone who has a connection to these things, So, and
it looks like that there's only one fine point left.
Yeah.
It's like, or at least the fine point's the only one that's left. Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, just makes me wonder about, who my friends really are and stuff like that. So, I mean, but so what's going on with cross pens? I mean, I always see them on websites and stuff like that. I don't think they ever come out with anything new or something that's really connected to the fountain pen industry, or rather fountain pen enthusiasts, right?
I'm not too in the loop with the cross stuff.
Yeah, me neither.
So much,
I feel like it's not one of those brands that really resonates with people, right? So like it's a cool brand because, as much as they're not like a fountain pen brand like Pelikan or Esterbrook, Conklin, names that fountain pen people definitely know. It may not be that, but it's always one that can be used as a gateway to get people into actual fountain pens, right? Mm-hmm. So whenever somebody's like, oh, I want to try a fountain pen, look what I just bought. I bought a cross pen. Inside, I'm like, well, that sucks for you, but you know what? It's better than not having a fountain pen, right?
Yeah.
So,
I think it has a lot of name recognition, just kind of like Parker and Schaefer do. And I think, though, over the years, especially I think since the pandemic, that they just haven't really been able to establish a consistency with their core products. I think it's been very difficult to get their supply running again ever since that whole interruption with everything back then.
Yeah.
There's been some, well, I mean, they used to also make Schaefer pens, if you're familiar with that arrangement. They bought Schaefer a while back. They were making Schaefer, they were distributing Schaefer and cross pens, and then they sold Schaefer, which is now being made by it was bought by William Penn in India. And so now, but they're using the same factories they used to use, which there's some, I think, in Slovenia and stuff like that. But they sold the Schaefer part of the business, and now they still have Cross, which Cross are made. There's a factory that they have in China for it, but they're still not at full strength of what they used to be. They do a lot more, I think, in terms of their office supply, low budget type of pens, where it's a lot of just stuff that you would kind of see. I mean, I've seen them at, like, let's say Staples or at Costco before, like big box stores. They haven't done so much in the recent memory as far as like a really nice fountain pen in their Townsend or Peerless, which are kind of like their top end fountain pens. And if they introduce new fountain pens, it tends to be in their low end, like Bailey and Beverly lines. It's really not anything like super exciting, at least from a pen collector or a pen enthusiast standpoint.
Yeah. Yo, so I'm sorry to change the subject, but as you were talking, I was just scrolling on the Goldspot website because I realized I don't spend enough time on this. And at the bottom right of the page, there's like a rewards thing.
Yes.
You guys have a fucking rewards program? What's that about?
Oh, yes. Since, so we started, I think, back in early 2022. So it's basically, a lot of people do rewards programs now. A lot of, small business type of websites have a rewards program, which is basically you earn 1 point for every dollar that you spend. And sometimes there's opportunities to earn multiply, like, 2 points for every dollar spent. Like, there's some weekends that sales are run like that. And then you could redeem them for either gift cards, which can be spent on anything on the website, or you could redeem them for your own personal discount code, which would then give you X amount of discount based on how many points that you redeem. So it could be up to as lucrative as 20% off. So if you could imagine on things that you can't get a discount on with any discount code, being able to get your own personal discount and then being able to apply it on anything on the website.
Wow. That's awesome.
With exclusion of gift cards, because then you can't, that would just cause
That's
too much of the...
Well, listen, I want to fucking do something with that because I have this affiliate link. Can we offer 1.5 reward points?
Yeah, that technically speaking, I don't think that'd be possible to offer it differently, because when the redemption or when the earn rate changes, it has to change for everybody. It's basically like the setting in it has to be changed from how many points per dollar spent has to be applied to everybody. It can't be changed per the. I'll try to figure out something though. Maybe I could do something.
Because I would like to do something to. Because if people are using my affiliate link, the only reason they're using the affiliate link is to help out me, right? And what am I doing for them? Nothing. But if by using that, maybe they get something a little bit better than they normally would, then that'll, give them a reason to use the affiliate link more, and it'll also help them out. And
maybe if it might be possible to make it so that if they use the affiliate link, maybe they get a bonus when they place the order, like a 50-point bonus. I don't know. I have to see technically how that could be achieved using the reward system.
That would be cool, because that would be beneficial for me and it'd be beneficial for them. I didn't even know you had a fucking rewards point program. I have a rewards point program with my coffee shop, the Gray.
Yeah, I do too. With Rook,
Yeah, and then every once in a while, coffee is free and stuff. There's
it's
also
just
another
nice. It's nice just to every once in a while you go into it and you're ordering something. You're like, oh, I could get this for free today.
Yeah.
Bonus. Nice.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to talk about something else. You mentioned with the Pelikan, you talked about the piston mechanism and how amazing their piston mechanism is, and I totally agree with that.
Yes.
You know who else? Aurora. Their Optimas, they have fantastic piston mechanisms. Amazing, amazeballs piston mechanisms.
I will agree with you there. Yes, very good.
So if the Aurora piston mechanism had to fight the Pelikan piston mechanism, the Aurora Optima had to fight the Pelikan M800 piston mechanism, who would win?
I would still think Pelikan does.
Really?
Yes. I still feel that Pelikan's mechanism would win out.
You think so?
I had an Optima for a while, and really the only thing I could remember that I could then say as a point of comparison to the Pelikan, because the fact that it had an ink window and I would see it happen, is that ink would stain or get behind the piston seal. So I would always see that it would never get fully clean with whatever ink that I put in it. I just have to be like, you know what? I just have to let it go and be like, whatever ink I'm going to put in there, there's not enough residual ink residue that's in the pen currently to then change the color. It's just going to overwhelm it. I will be fine with this. So, but I would see it there, and that's the reason why I would just give Pelikan the nod, because I have never had that issue.
Fair enough.
With
Me
the
too.
Pelikan before.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Now that you said that, yeah, totally. Definitely.
Yeah.
But okay, so listen, I think we covered a lot of stuff. I think it's time to wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for joining us for episode number 184. And I want to know what you guys think about the Karas Pen Company Model K? No, Model Ink. Do you guys have it? What do you think of it? Which ones do you have? I know that they make them out of aluminum. I know they do them out of stainless steel, brass, copper, and stuff like that. Which one would you go for? Yeah. Which one would you go for? I like that they make them here in the U.S. I like that they machine it. They're hard workers. They got big beards. I can't look. This is like a week right here, but whatever. Like Tom, I envy you. Anyway, tell me what you think of the Karas pens. What Pelikan tickles your fancy? I would like to know. And also, who do you think would win in a fight? The Aurora Optima piston mechanism or the Pelikan 800 piston mechanism? We got to work on getting Gary Lang back on so we can talk about the pricing disparity and how he's handled it and all that stuff, if he's handled it, or how things have improved. How did they get to be improved? And also, I'm looking forward to talking to my buddy Lyman Good when he has time to be on the show. He said we're going to schedule something. I also have a good friend of mine. His name is Aaron Lohman. He does the same thing. He is Big Fat Loser on Instagram. And he also went through a very tough time, got through it, and he does the same type of thing that Lyman is trying to do right now. Aaron Lohman is Big Fat Loser. No, Huge Fat Loser. Huge Fat Loser on Instagram. Check them out. And if you know anybody that has mental health problems or is hiding it, or if you're hiding mental health problems, reach out to me. I'll set you up with someone that can help you. But reach out to me. If not me, reach out to somebody. Don't do this alone. You don't have to. People are there for you, starting with me. Okay? I can set you up with resources, people that you can talk to, even if it's me. Probably not the best choice. I'll just talk about zombie apocalypses. But I can direct you in the right way if you need help. But don't make ultimate decisions. Just small steps. The first step is talking to somebody. Please make sure you do that. Okay. That's all I got for you guys. I love you guys. Be well, be safe.
Stay inky.